how are you currently measuring your marketing? We have been using MER, which is the marketing efficiency ratio, as an indicator for how well campaigns have been performing and I guess our overall marketing investment is performing for the businesses we work with. Today, I am joined with Lana Hill, my business partner and our marketing director here at WHD. Welcome, Lana.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So you're in the front lines talking to new businesses all the time, every day. And this is probably a question you get brought up a lot is how do I know if my marketing's working? So how do you, I guess, typically what's your approach to talking to businesses about what they should be doing and what they should be looking for when they're trying to measure the return on investment?
Yeah, a lot of people just don't really have a good understanding of their numbers. Like, what are they willing to pay for a lead, or what are they willing to pay for a new customer? So I know I've got a meeting with someone today who, wasn't really familiar with what their lifetime value was of a customer. So we've sent them to go do a bit of homework and go, okay, what's your lifetime value? And based on that, how much are you willing to pay for a customer? But then they need to take into consideration their management fees, their platform costs, and all of that to actually work out, based on those metrics, when am I still profitable when I paying for this particular customer through digital marketing? I
guess it's a bit of a challenge for businesses a lot of the time because they're going to be getting reports from their agencies and they're going to be like, hey, look, you're fucking killing it at the moment. Look at these great 20 ROAS numbers and all your reports. We actually did a bit of a deep dive into a business that we're looking to potentially, well, hopefully work with because they've shown us a bunch of reports which don't really provide a lot of info. So we're looking at Google's got a huge reported ROAS on it, but there's not a single breakdown to show, well, is that brand? Where's that coming from?
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm looking at one exactly the same, and I was looking at the ROAS from the 3 different platforms and going, this one doesn't make sense. I reckon there's a lot of sales hidden in brand on this particular platform, Google Ads. So it really comes down to making sure that they have that information and that we're helping them measure it. So when we test out a new platform, that we're doing the right analytics, we're doing the right the homework to see how that new platform is impacting the overall results and not being too caught up with just that specific platform analysis, right? So sometimes it's about scaling a business back, getting really clear on how the 1 or 2 platforms are performing for them, and then we can start bringing in new platforms with the help of, say, MER, your marketing efficiency ratio report, where we can actually look at, okay, based on your management fees, based on each of the platform ad spend, what is your overall ROAS? What's your overall CPA? Not just the platform CPA, which there's probably a lot to dive into with that, because I'm sure I've just overwhelmed everybody.
So I guess we'll take it right back to what a marketing efficiency ratio is. So this number is what we're talking about is what is the actual total dollars out? What are you spending in your marketing overall to what is the actual revenue you're generating? So that way you're looking at, instead of looking at it siloed by, all right, I'm spending X on Google. Google's giving me an X return. I'm spending this on Facebook. Facebook's giving me an X return. You're combining all of this information. You're combining all of the spend and all of the return into a single number that gives you a ratio, which you can then look at, all right, well, for every dollar I'm spending, I'm getting $2 back, or I'm getting $10 back, or I'm getting 50 cents back and shit's not working. And it gives you a really good indicator to what you're spending overall. Is it working or not? Are you actually running profitably from your marketing campaigns?
Yeah. We've actually had a client, now this is going back a few years, but they wanted to have all of their marketing with different people. So their social media management was over here, their Meta ads was with us, their Google ads with someone else, and they had it almost spread across all these agencies. So we had no transparency on what was working, and they had no transparency on what was working. And they've slowly brought across all their marketing to us. And this is actually lead gen, but because they're so good at tracking their numbers and they're good at tracking the conversions, we're able to even run a marketing efficiency ratio analysis for them because we're across all of that information. And when we do bring in a new platform and we test a new platform, it might be very top of the funnel. So the platform itself, say it's TikTok, it will look like, okay, the ROI for TikTok itself looks bad, but maybe it's improving what's happening on Meta, right? Maybe Meta remarketing is taking credit for all those conversions. But by bringing it in and running a MER analysis next to it and having all that data filter in, we can see whether the overall ROAS, the overall amount of conversions is improving, and is TikTok actually helping the overall equation. But if we look at TikTok on its own, it doesn't look profitable, but it's actually helping the big picture.
Yeah. And I guess this is really going to help when you're decide or really start investing in brand campaigns, because this is an area where as performance marketing agency like us, when we really focus on bottom of funnel and really, I guess, making sure we're generating as much sales and conversions for our clients as possible. But we are now starting to spend more dollars on top of funnel. And so, for example, we just ran a BVOD campaign, a TV campaign for one of our clients for a month. And the result of that, whilst very hard to measure what the impact had on that from their point of view, even though we were able to measure the traffic that's come through to the website, when we ran through the SEO report, we could see a huge lift in branded search and traffic, first-time viewers to the website. And so whilst that would not show a positive ROI in the on-platform metrics that we're looking at for the BVOD report, overall, they've generated a ton more leads from this campaign running. And that's why running MER and stuff like that is really important. So you can look at the whole marketing channel as a holistic view.
Yeah, no, definitely. I found that really fascinating as you were telling me about how much analytics you can actually get from that platform as well.
Yes, very exciting. And we'll be doing a lot more, I guess, chat about that as well, because for us, it's a channel that we're getting pretty excited about just because there is so much more data that's available than we had anticipated.
TV is back.
That's it. So I think we'll leave it there today. Lana, thank you for joining us today. I'm sure you're going to have you back on very soon. Anything else you'd like to leave anyone on the revenue tracking side of things?
Yeah, I think it's just really, as I said at the very beginning, it comes down to knowing your numbers. So if you're not quite sure what those metrics are that you should be measuring, it's definitely worth a conversation with us or with the right people, maybe an accountant, figuring it out. What exactly should you be measuring outside of just looking at, I spend this much on a platform and it gives me this much back, because that is very tunnel vision, and that is not how you should be measuring the success of your digital marketing. So know your numbers. Sound like an accountant, but it's important.
Perfect. Well, thanks again for joining, and thanks for watching.